Sports play an important role in a child's life, ranging from social interactions to health benefits and everything in between. However, there's still the possibility of injuries occurring in sports, some more than others. One of the most serious and common injuries is concussions. A poll done by Angus Reid Institute revealed that concussions in sports are common among Albertans under the age of 18. Only 37% of these reported concussions were followed up with a visit to the doctor. Local expert Dr. Keith Yeats specializes in youth concussions at the University of Calgary and the Alberta Children's Hospital.
Yeah, so our most recent estimates that we have from the Alberta Health Services is that there are about 8,000 newly diagnosed concussions a year in Alberta in children up to about the age of 18. Now, that's only children who come to the hospital or some other primary care facility, but we know a lot of injuries, particularly in sport, never even make it to medical attention. So our assumptions is that's an underestimate. The other thing that's interesting is that represents almost a doubling just in the last 5 years, probably because people have gotten better at identifying it and we've increased awareness. So typically concussions happen because the head either strikes something or something hits the head. The biggest problem in concussion is not necessarily that there's an impact right in the front, but that often it involves a blow to the side of the head where the head is rapidly turning. So that what essentially happens is you think of the brain as like a little ball of jello inside a very hard surface, your skull. The head stops, but the brain doesn't. Because it can move, and the movement of the brain up against the skull as well as the tissues inside the brain lead to essentially a disruption of how the brain works.
Medicine has come a long way, although the best way to prevent concussions is to stop them from happening at all. I went and talked with some youth coaches and sport managers to see what local teams are doing to keep the kids safe. Liam Graney is the offensive coordinator of the Aberhart Orange junior football team. To limit sport-related injuries in youth, more awareness is spread through the athletic community by the constant discussion. The various mediums of communication make the information easily accessible.
We've got a lot of materials and procedures in place to check for concussions. I think that Hockey Canada, Hockey Alberta, Hockey Calgary have put out a plethora of information that is available to coaches, parents, players, team managers, so that they can properly diagnose a concussion if a child gets injured on the ice. But then also make sure that when they want to return to play, that they're ready to come back to play. There's been a few things put in place in minor hockey, and I think one of them would be education is the biggest one.
To limit sport-related injuries in youth, more awareness is spread through the athletic community by the constant discussion. The various mediums of communication makes the information easily accessible.
So there's been a lot of materials put out from Hockey Canada, Hockey Alberta, and Hockey Calgary to help parents, team staff identify a concussion when it happens on the ice. And then also, in addition to that, they've changed some of the rules around what divisions can actually do checking. So that's a big concern in the past. Kids 12 and under don't play in any checking leagues now, and kids that are 13 and 14 actually have the option to play checking or non-checking. So we made a few changes there as well. There's been a number of changes around making sure that when a child is identified with a concussion, that there's a certain steps that they follow before they can come back to play hockey. I think just the last couple of years, certainly minor hockey in Canada, here in Calgary as well, have put a lot of attention on the topic. I know that the University of Calgary, through their Sports Injury Prevention Research Center, they're conducting a 5-year study right now on concussions in minor sports. I think they're about midway through that. And so there's certainly a lot of awareness out there now, and a lot more care is being taken to make sure that kids are playing in a safe manner, as safe as possible, when you have kids playing together, and that if anything does happen, that things are diagnosed properly and that they're also treated properly.
Olivia Volponi has experienced a concussion while playing sports. She was 14 years old when she became part of the statistic on youth concussions. Her mother drove her to the hospital immediately after it happened, and the doctors provided her with information on how to treat her symptoms.
First, my pupils were huge. They were like dilated completely. I was super sleepy. I had memory loss. I was confused all the time. So I just stayed in bed because I couldn't do anything. I was dizzy all the time.
Despite shared information on concussions and the concern that coaches have for their teams, the young generation feels differently.
I think kids my age have enough awareness about what concussions do. I think we just play our hardest, we do our best, and we don't think about what that could do to us. We just give it our all.
Youth athletic coaches, managers, and concussion experts have noticed an increase in awareness with sport-related concussions in the past few years. The media has prioritized the focus of this topic too often, according to some. However, it has made a great deal of impact, and the future of concussion research is still ongoing to continue this trend. Reporting for the Calgary Journal, I'm Cassie Riabko.